And let's pin. All right. Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Empowerment Moment with yours truly, Dr. G. I am so glad that you're here. We're halfway through the year. Can you imagine? 2025. We're halfway through. Today is June 26th, if you're watching later. And so I'm saying we're halfway through the year because we're in 2025. And for me, it's a year where I'm just seeing how things that were unexpected just kind of pulling all together. And so tonight I'm just talking a little bit about how we connect to our mission. So, for those who are new to us and those who have been on a journey, I always like to remind all of us what my goal does and who we are and how we came to be. So, my goal is an acronym, MYGOAL, and it means My Gateway to Overcoming Autism in Life. In 2008, May 6 precisely, 2008 is how this journey began. And it began because it was just really a vision that God gave me that there is a gateway to overcoming a diagnosis that is not intended to be my child's future. And that gateway is through my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So if you want to know I'm a woman of faith, I'm not ashamed to say it. I keep the smile on my face because I have an assurance that this life that I'm living is a temporary life. There is a permanent place, and that permanent place is assured. So even if I'm walking this journey and I'm given a diagnosis, it's not the end of the world. And with that in mind, God gave me this understanding that a gateway to overcoming autism in life comes from gateway to resources and gateway to creating connection, meaningful connection. And along the journey, he gave me a simple blueprint. And the blueprint was find ways to connect to others, share the good news that no matter where they are in the journey of providing care for their loved ones, there is always hope. And that's the reason why that whole acronym comes about. And along the journey, I came up with another acronym, HOPE, which is holding on to possibilities every day. So that's hope. And that's the whole essence of my goal. So prior to COVID, which is almost 5 years ago, prior to COVID, we used to meet physically every second Sunday of the month. I used to work at an organization, a hospital that had a beautiful conference rooms, and it was so gracious. They allowed us to meet. We used to bring the families together. So for 2 hours, we'll come together on a monthly basis, share resources, invite speakers to come about. And these speakers will come and share all kind of brilliant information that was really instrumental in helping our loved ones get the resources and the services that they needed. And along the journey, we will also share some of our challenges and of the things we're going, and then come empower each other. COVID happened. We moved from meeting monthly in that way and change our platform the way we do it. And that's how Empowerment Moment with Dr. G was birthed. So that the last Thursday of the month, I would come on here and then share something that's on my heart, open it up, invite speakers, and also share different things that are there. And we have found that this is how we can reach more people because others can watch us on replay. Friends can join us inside the Zoom room, which is how we do it. And today I want to say thank you, Anita, for joining me in the Zoom room. And so we have a little bit of information that we'll share about some of the work that we're doing, but I wanted to coin it connected to our mission because I want each one of us to know the work and the journey that we're taking. And along the journey, I always like to share some of the things that I am meditating on or reflecting on or praying about and using as a means to just also encourage your faith one way or the other. And so last month, we were talking about, and for the first few months, we've been talking about resiliency. I just love that word because it reminds us to hold on in the midst of challenges, you got to keep holding on. Don't throw in the towel. Don't feel like, okay, there's no way to go. Yeah, you're gonna have those moments. Right before we got on, I was just telling if it was our program assistant that when I asked a question of how you doing, I don't express how I'm feeling. Maybe I'm not feeling my feeling may betray where I should be really be looking forward. I always say that I speak my aspiration. So I say I am blessed because it's my aspiration and it's my faith, it's my hope. And that is what I speak so that I'm always constantly aware of the need to just keep that mindset and keep that focus. And so we've been talking about resiliency. And one of the things I shared with us last month was the importance of really getting educated. So we talked about in New Jersey, there's a program called Partners in Policy Making. They have the program it's a yearly program for 9 months where you learn so much. And so the deadline for that program is tomorrow, June 27th. So I wanted to, since I have an opportunity to say it again today, I wanted to highlight it. But as just before this today, my co-host, co-pilot is my dear, wonderful daughter, Senna, who's going to share a little bit of some of the work that we've been doing. But before I bring her on, I wanted to share with you what I've been meditating on. If you read the Bible, there's a very powerful psalm. It's called Psalm 23. I've been reading it and I was reflecting on it, and I read it in a different version. And so I wanted to share that with you. And it's called the easy version. It's actually pretty easy. Thank you, Nife, for posting the Partners in Policy Making. Please also drop it in Facebook for us. So people want to sign up for it, they can do so. So this verse that I'm talking about, it's the easy version. So there's what they call New Living Translation, NIV, and all these other versions out there. But I came across the easy version and I thought it was really cool. And so I'm going to read that as it means to for someone listening who is just like, I just feel like I'm at the end of my rope, this is for you, right? And the easy version of Psalm 23 says, the Lord takes care of me like a shepherd with his sheep. I have everything that I need. If you have breath, that means you have everything you need. That's not part of it. I'm just expounding on it. And it says, he takes me to the green fields where I can rest. He leads me to streams of water where I can drink. He gives me new strength in my life. He gives me new strength in my life. He is my guide to the right paths. He does this to honor his name. I may walk through a valley that is as dark as death, but I will not be afraid of any danger. This is because you are with me, Lord. Your stick and your shepherd's pole protect me from danger. You prepare a feast for me while my enemies watch. You prepare a feast for me. You put olive oil on my head. You bless me so much that my cup is completely full. I am sure that you will always be good to me. You will love me all the days of my life. That will never change. I will always live in the Lord's house. Amen. Isn't that powerful? It is simple. It reinforces that he gives us strength. It reinforces that he will be the one that will guide us in this path of raising a special individual. We have a confidence that he would do this because he created us. And it says, even when I'm walking through a dark valley that feels overwhelming, I will not be afraid of any danger because we have an assurance that he's with us. He's our stick. He's our shepherd. He protects us. He prepares a table for us. He will love us all the days of our life. He will love your loved one all the days of his life, of their life. I say his because mine. And that will never change. So I was reading and meditating on that, and I'm like, that is the reason why I have a smile on my face. I have a hope and I have a confidence that he will cause all things to work together for your good. So these are words of affirmation, and I want to encourage you. Just Google it. Psalm 23, easy version. Print it, post it. When you have those moments, repeat it after you, say it. And guess what? It will bring life. It is filled with such confidence, and you will feel fine if you were feeling down. It's an assurance and encouragement. Your loved one will be okay. So that is what I've been meditating and reflecting on. And I just wanted to share that with someone. I hope that you are feeling empowered. And that's why I say to you that part of our mission as an organization is to be that gateway to hope. Is it that gateway to connections? Is to be the gateway to resources. And so that is part of what our mission has been. In the beginning of the year, we always sit there and say, what are we going to do differently? What are we going to continue to do more of? And how are we going to be impactful? So I'm going to invite Senna, and you can spotlight her too, to come and then just share some of the work we've been doing, the impact that we're making. So everyone out there that listens to us or is part of our journey can kind of learn more. And last month was in May. Yeah, we just came from a Mother's Day celebration. Um, and it's all part of that element of that. All right, so go for it.
All right, everyone. So I'm super excited to share one of the programs or resources that MyGo provides. We do a variety of different things, including educational webinars, including programming in the summer. For those who have been able to join us for our summer swim program or a Mother's Day event, know that we love to have in-person events as well. But our MyGo Autism Grant Program is a scholarship that is available to families across the continental, or I should say across the United States, with children with an autism diagnosis under the age of 18 who demonstrate a financial need and a desire to use the resources provided to better the lives of their children. Um, and so here's just an infographic to help better understand. So this is from 2024. With each passing year, as my mom will tell you, there's more and more and more people who are applying to our grant each year. So last year we had 121 applications submitted across the country from states like California, Texas, Florida, Virginia, Michigan, New York, and of course, New Jersey. And we provided 25 families $1,000 for a total of $25,000 provided last year. So I had the opportunity to really impact a lot of these families, and it's been really great I am part of the grant committee, so it's great to read through their stories and know that the funding that we provide is able to really help them out. Um, and so for this year, what we actually did was we decided to go back in time and reach out to some of our families to see how they're doing and how the grant has helped them. And so over the past 17 years, 17, I think, years,
Yes.
we have awarded grants to 230 families. These are over 230 children that have been blessed and impacted by our grant. And of course, like I mentioned, 25 of those families were from just last year alone. Some of the resources are used for therapy, sensory items to support medical expenses, education, equipment, summer camp. So our grant is actually very unique that we allow the families to use the money however they see fit to really improve their lives. And so some of the families have shared that there have been significant improvements in their child's communication skills, emotional regulation, and health, and progress in educational and social settings. And we've gotten great feedback that the application process itself is one of the easiest and is really straightforward and self-explanatory. So also really great feedback for our team that works really hard to try and make sure that the grant process is really smooth. And to provide some of our grant stories, one of the recipients from last year was Emmett. And he shared that thanks to his life, thanks to the Michael Grant, Emmett's life has taken a melodious turn. He began guitar lessons, transitioned to drumming, and earned a spot in the drum line as a freshman. He now plays bass guitar and is preparing for his school's jazz band. And so for Emmett, the grant was used for independent music lessons. And you can obviously see how it's really enriching his life and his passion for music. Ada was another recipient, and she and her sisters are doing therapeutic horseback riding. I find horseback riding very therapeutic as well. And the weekly lessons have improved their confidence, posture, and social activity. Ethan is another recipient who was able to attend their summer social skills and readiness program. And Ethan, who was now once nonverbal, is now considered pre-verbal and can communicate effectively. And he no longer uses his AAC device, a decision he made himself, and is thriving in kindergarten. And so it's stories just like this that really help to drive home how important that funding can be in changing the lives of individuals around the country. And I have even more quotes. There are so many quotes, but families that come back and say they want to thank us 1,000 times, and the grant has helped so much. They're grateful for every single penny that was used for their son's care, treatment, and therapies. Um, and another parent shared that she wishes there was an opportunity to write a whole essay about how the grant has helped. And that she also appreciates the emails that we send every month. So if you're not on our mailing list, please reach out to us and we'd be more than happy to add you as well. And just so many stories like this. I mean, there's countless. We could go on and on and on from all the 230 families that have been blessed by this program. But we had one family that really touched me, that said, I appreciate the fact that we called and followed up to see how they were doing. We were the first grant program that called to check on the recipients, and it shows that there are people who do care. And I can speak for our team in saying that we really do care about each and every family that we have the opportunity to come across, not just our grant recipients, but also for everyone that attends our programming and our webinars as well. And so for those who may not be familiar, our grant timeline, we typically open our applications at the beginning of February, and then we complete our review through the month of May and June. And then decisions and awards are dispersed by July 15th each year. And so this year we had a total of 159 applications submitted, which is a 30, it is an increase of over 30 applications from 2024. And these are all of the states that we received applications from. So obviously you can see from Texas, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina. I mean, my mom was joking the other day that there was an application from Wyoming, Wisconsin. I mean, from all across the country, in which we have the opportunity to have our committee review and read these stories. From our applicants, over 25% have either two or more children on the spectrum. And we also decided to ask a question this year to see how often are the families able to have someone that is able to support them. And over 45% of families said that they were not able to have anyone support or provide a relief or a break for them at all. And so for all of our parents who, have been through that process, how challenging it can be when you don't have that support alone. And so this statistic is really important to drive home how important all of these programming and also how important respite is as well, and rest for our families. And another question we asked this year is, how often do financial limitations prevent your child from receiving necessary services and support? And 68% said consistently. And so that's really the driving force for why we continue to do this program, is to make sure that we're reaching out to as many families as we possibly can, and hopefully continuing to see the program grow so we can hopefully lower that 68% to a much lower percentage. So those are some of our statistics from our 2025 grant, and then also from previous years as well.
Wow, Sita, thank you so much for sharing that information. As you were just talking, I'm so glad to kind of get a sense of. So, for full disclaimer, I am not part of the grant committee. I've chosen not to be it all through these years. Emotionally, it's very overwhelming for me to go through it. And we have to say that we will be making an announcement of all the grant recipients, as she's mentioned. It's extremely difficult to say no to some people, but we do what we can to be a blessing and be a help in some way. And I got to tell you, I'm astounded at 230 families over the period of time. As an organization that just started to be a blessing, this is what we're doing. And so additional 26 families instead of 25 this year. Our goal was to do
Yes.
25, and we could not. There was one family that really made it over. So we had one of our board member say, you know what, I want to put in that for the extra and get this other family. So we shared this so that for full transparency for families, people who support the organization, who donate, just know that these are the stories. These are not just stories, these are people's lives that we're impacting. And so that's why we share that we're connecting back to our mission and we stayed the course in doing so. So you're hearing it here in some of the ways that we're going to be. And for as long as we can do it, we'll be back next year to open up the grant application process again. Like Sana said, this is near and dear to her heart and been a part of making sure that we continue to grow and do what this is in that way. So there are people who touch the platform to apply and some never finish. But the ones that did complete are the ones that were being reviewed, and the goal is to continue to be a blessing in so many ways to each one of you. And so you heard it. If you have family members that have children that have special needs, know that your support, whether it's to invite them to go to an event with you or for you to be there for them, that's there because out of that data that was just shared, that's huge. That's huge. And we also want to invite you, if you heard what we just shared, and you want to be a part, you want to partner with my goal so that we will continue to be a blessing, you can do so by, info at mygoalinc.org is our Zelle. You can go to mygoalinc.org/donate to there. I'm bringing it up because we're a vessel for which we can then get these resources to the individuals across the country. And this is one of the many events that we do, not the only event or the only program rather that we do. But I think it was necessary to share this data. And next month when we disperse the funds, we will be giving you out all our supporters and updates of what we've done. So I
Yes.
want to say thank you so much for that. I know Nife, you also had some information that you want to share with us on this year's some of the information that we got from some of the families.
Yes. Let me just share my screen with everyone. Sorry, just one sec.
Okay. As you're doing so we are just incredibly blessed that we could be a resource. And one thing that we try to do is consistency and see how we can make the process better. So yeah, so go for it. Share
So I
what
just
it is.
have a couple stories from some of our recipients for this year. So for the first story we're going to be discussing is obviously everybody's anonymous. So we have a single mother who has an autistic child and she was a bus driver, but she had to leave her job because of this facility that her son attends. So because it's so far from where she lives, it takes her 2 hours to get there and back round trip. And she spends $120 weekly on gas. And she was sharing that she can't afford it at this point and that the grant would be able to help her out with transportation and getting her child sensory toys so he can be able to play and just be more comfortable. Another story that we have is a single mother of two autistic children, and she can't work full time because of the needs that her children have. So the grant would just be helping the family, providing them with sensory equipment and toys for the kids, and then car repairs so that she can safely get them back and forth to therapy session in school. So looking at the grant recipients, it just makes you think about some of the little things that we have that we take for granted that other people don't have access to. And then we have another family where the child's father hurt his back and he became addicted to pain medication. And she was also recently diagnosed with lupus. So she can't work anymore and she doesn't receive support from her family. So this grant will be for summer camp so that the child that they have together would be able to spend more time in an environment she's been in before and just do something that she really loves with kids. They also recently lost the her mother, the grandma, and it's been really difficult for the child. So she just wants to give her child something that is going to help her cope with this loss. And then we have another family where the mother has no social support. She hasn't been able to work since her oldest child has been diagnosed with autism, although she has two children with autism. And it's difficult for her to find an employer that's going to give out so many chances and willing to be flexible with her schedule, because she shared that her child can be sick for weeks at a time. So the only income that they're living off of is their disability income. And she has to rely on other housing assist she has to rely on housing assistance and stuff like this. And the grant will really be able to help her out with just taking care of herself and her children. And then lastly, we have a single mom of 8 children. We have another domestic violence situation, unfortunately, and she is in the process of getting divorced. She doesn't have support from her husband or her ex-husband or other, and her family does not live in the United States. It's just her and the kids. And this would help her with debts, it'll help her with bills, and it'll help her with therapy and swimming lessons for her children. And they're currently going through some things, so she doesn't want, or they're having difficulty paying for even their home that they have. So the grant would help them so that they don't lose their house. So it's things like this that, or these are the kind of families that we're supporting through the grant. And this money goes such a long way. And we want to continue to support families like this across the country and in New Jersey. So I posted the link in the chat, as well as here if you want to just scan the QR code or even visit our website to see more information about the grant and about the things that we do as a whole, just to help us support other families like these ones here.
Thank you so much, Nife, for that information. So some of those families will be getting notifications. As you can see, there was a particular pattern that we were noting, single families. And one of the reasons why I remember when we started this organization that was near and what impacted me so much was the effect of how many families get broken because of the stress associated with raising a loved one. And so not only are we having to focus on addressing the needs of the individual, the stress level becomes overwhelming. And you heard the statistics that, a number of them don't have support. So how do you get that respite? How do you get that break? So it's really crucial that people are connected to resources and support. So one of the ways that we can do our part is how we've come along, and all the resources that are raised from this organization goes back. So 26 families will get $1,000 each, an amount of $26,000 again this year. And we're just very proud that we can do this work and all the people that have made it happen. So thank you for those who are listening, who have been a part of this journey with us. If you're in Jersey, we do local programs that you could come and attend. May not be a financial component that you're selected for, but it doesn't mean that you can't be a part of what we do. We do provide programming coming up next month, actually. So I'll have Nife speak to our upcoming event on July 14th. I think it's July 12th. I'm making up the days.
So we have Summer Swim coming up on July 12th. I'm about to post the link in the chat. It'll be in Sayreville from 1 to 3 p.m. So it's just a fun day at the pool. Come hang out, bring the kids, bring the entire family. We have a lot of people registered, and we're just excited to see you all connect, make new friends, just swim, have a great time outside. And we also have it again in August. However, we won't just be swimming. We'll actually be having a picnic afterwards. So that's going to be a lot of fun, opportunity to connect, and we're excited to see you all there.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So it goes to tell you, we are here to be a resource to you, to make connections, and above all, to be a listening ear. So if you have not been receiving our emails, you can email us at info@mygoalinc.org. Even on our website, there's a way that you can sign up for to be a part of that. So I just want to encourage you to make sure you're connected with us. I want to say thank you to Pat, who's in here. Pat has been part of the My Goal family for so long. Thank you, Pat, for coming inside. You know the deal. You know we're real. We know this is part of that. And I so love you and appreciate you coming in and being there. And I continue to just pray for you, for grace, for you
Thank
and
you.
Michael, for the journey. We know they're the valley, the days of the valley experiences, but there is a God who's faithful and he brings you through it. I want to welcome
Amen.
Anita. And I think
Thank
there
you.
also have somebody else that joined in with an iPhone. But for those who are watching us online, thank you. Thank you. I just want to just encourage you to just continue to just encourage families that are on the journey, the loved ones that are on there, the siblings, the dads, the moms, the grandmas. Just please, please, please take some time out and just, send, if you're listening to me right now, and you know somebody like that, just send them a quick text and say, you know what, I'm here for you. I'm proud of you. I appreciate you and all the hard work that you do. Send them that text. They'll wonder, wow, what made you say it? And I bet you somebody will give you a text back and say, I appreciate you for saying that. And if you're even listening to me too, and you're just like, you know what, maybe I haven't paid attention. This is an opportunity for you to just extend a hand. And that's how we as a community, that's how we as a people could demonstrate love to those who may be going through something or the other. So once again, we exist to support families facing autism and other intellectual disabilities throughout their lifespan. And our goal and our vision has always to be a source of hope, a source of connection, and to be able to connect to resources. So thank you for joining us tonight. Hope you've been blessed. Go and read that Psalm 23 in the easy version. Because it will be a source of strength to you. And I want to invite you back next month. We'll be back on July 31st for more empowerment moment with Dr. G. So thank you for tuning in and have a fantastic and blessed evening. Goodbye now.